Hello and welcome back, guys. We're now starting a new story, Izuku Midoriya the Herald of Unicorn, Sketchbook 33. You can find author's profile link in the description. Let's begin Chapter 1, Unicron Son Reborn. Izuku's POV, useless, brat, quirkless freak, disgrace, waste of space, Deku. These are the words I had to put up with for 10 years, and it's been 10 years since I was announced quirkless and my life took a 180-degree turn to hell. For 10 years I've been broken, neglected, bullied, beaten till I death's door countless times and raped. I knew my life would be bad, but this is something I wish no quirkless kid has to face in their life. But you're wondering how I survived this long. Well, my sister gave me food and treated my wounds while my parents beat me up and neglected me. I had to make my own food and look after myself, and my school life was just getting beaten and ridiculed. I was enduring my usual beating from my friends for trying to be a hero, but I gave up on that years ago. Izuku, getting beaten up by his so-called friends, Bakugo. Hey Deku. You like your face and left hand, right? Izuku silently cries and speak in broken voice, and no, please don't Bakugo. Well, say goodbye to them. Explodes his face and left hand. Izuku screams Katsumi, shut up you freak. Explodes his chest and stomach causing third-degree burns. Izuku cries in pain. Kirishima stabs his legs with his hardened fingers. Momo, you should waste, creates a knife and stabbed his chest. Mina, useless, burns his back with acid. Jiro stabs him with her Jax 1A, you don't even deserve to breathe. Continues beating him, unaware that Izumi was watching them. Izumi covers her mouth with her hands. Izumi, Oni-chan. As they continued to beat Izuku, they didn't notice he was slowly fading away until Izuku, near death's door and bloody. Jiro, Kirishima, hold him, I have a surprise for him. Kirishima grabs Izuku and lifts him up. Izuku, in a soft and low voice, no. Jiro stabs his chest with her Jax. Izuku grunts, why can't I die in peace? Jiro blast him with her quirk, badly damaging his heart. Izuku, his heart is injured and failing. I'm free, I'm sorry Izumi, but it would seem I won't be there for your birthday. Izuku dies. Jiro noticed that he wasn't screaming and gets said. Jiro lifts his head up. Oi freak. Izuku, Jiro gets angered and grabs him by the neck. Jiro, oi freak, are you there? Izuku, Kirishima had his hand around Izuku's neck and his face goes pale. And no. Jiro notices Kirishima in distress. Oi Kiri, what's wrong? Kirishima, he's gone. Jiro, huh? What do you mean? Kirishima, Izuku, he's gone. Admittedly everyone present there had the color from their faces fade. Katsumi, and no. Shoka, PL, please tell me you're joking. Lita, this isn't funny. Kirishima. Bakugo, tell me you're lying. Shoto, is he? Kirishima nods slowly. Soon everyone looked like they woke up from a nightmare. The class was shaken to their core. The girls were crying very loudly and the boy just stood there. That was until they heard a clapping sound. Izumi claps her hand while crying. You did it. 1A turns around to see Izumi behind them clapping. Izumi, congrats. You killed my brother. Izumi, are you happy? Are you? Bakugo eyes him. Izumi, it's Yagi to you. Katsuki in a dark tone and uses her quirk to throw him into the wall. 1A, scared because of what she had done. Izumi, what did he ever do to you guys? 1A, taken aback by her question. Izumi, did he ever beat you? Or even hurt you? 1A, Izumi, That's what I thought. Izumi uses her quirk to pry Izuku's corpse from Kirishima's hand. Izumi hugs his body and cries. Izumi, goodbye. Oni-chan continues to cry harder while hugging Izuku's corpse. 1A cries silently. When Izuku died he only had one though in his mind, anger. He was angry that he was killed by his so-called friends. Izumi took Izuku's body and gave him a burial and places her bracelet on it. While this was going on we see Izuku all battered and injured with his right hand missing in a floating platform. Awaken my child. Izuku opens his eyes and see that he is on a floating platform with two bright yellow eyes looking at him. Izuku, in a low and broken voice, who are you? Unicron, I am Unicron and I brought you. Izuku, why am I here? Mr. Unicron. Unicron, there is no need for formalities, youngling. Just call me Unicron. Unicron, and the reason you're here is to give you something. Izuku, taken aback by the fact Unicron knows his name. How do you know my name? Unicron, I know everything. Izuku, as I am the very core of your planet. Izuku, what do you mean by you're the Earth's very core? Unicorn, I'll tell you little one, during the beginning of the universe there were two beings, me and my brother Primus. He was the incarnation of creation while I was the incarnation of destruction. For eons we fought, disrupting the balance of the universe with every battle until he created 13 warriors called the Primes. With their help Primus defeated me and cast me to the empty void of space. Izuku, you are a god. Unicron, of destruction, yes, but let me finish the story. Izuku, sorry. Unicron, as I was saying, after my defeat I decided to let go of my hatred towards my brother and wandered aimlessly until I reached your solar system. There I decided to do something good and became the very planet you call Earth. Soon I met 3 Cybertronians banished from their home named Scourge, Battletrap, and Nightbird. After I heard their hardships I decided to become their surrogate father. I raised them and took care of them, and they did the same, but that was until a Cybertronian soldier named Ultra Magnus murdered Scourge because of his dark murderous appearance while he was traveling the galaxy to bring back souvenirs for me. Izuku felt pity and compassion to the god as he knows how it feels to lose someone you care for. Izuku once had a pet puppy, but he was killed by Bakugo and Katsumi Unicorn. He was our beam of shining light in our lives, and now we are lost. Izuku, he meant us. Izuku turned around and was greeted by Unicron's surrogate children Battletrap and Nightbird. Unicron, young one, I'd like you to meet my children Battletrap and Nightbird. Battletrap, Nightbird, father, who is this human child? Battletrap, and why does he look so battered and bloody? And why is he missing his right hand? Izuku turns to Unicron. Unicron, go on little one. Izuku nods and turns to them. Well, Izuku then started to tell all 3 of them of what he'd been through for 10 years. How he was beaten and bullied by his so-called friends, neglected by his parents, and belittled and broken by his teachers. The 3 listened to his story and their optics were filled with rage and sadness. Nightbird and Battletrap were standing beside Izuku as he is just like them before Unicron adopted them. Once Izuku finished his story he couldn't help but cry. Izuku, why? Why me? Izuku, why do I have to suffer this fate while those monsters get to live a lavish life? Izuku, why? Nightbird crouches down to Izuku's level and hugs him. Izuku, surprised from the sudden affection he got from Nightbird. Wah. Nightbird, let it out. Izuku cries onto Nightbird's chassis. After a few minutes he stopped crying and looked at them with a sparkle of peace in his eyes. Izuku, you guys remind me of my sister Izumi. Izuku, but now I can't see her anymore. Unicron, on the contrary. Izuku, I have a proposition for you. Izuku, what do you mean? Unicorn, when I found my children Scourge's real name was Thundercracker, he was near death, so I reformatted him. Izuku, what do you mean by reformatted? Nightbird, when father finds a person near death's door he reformats them, healing the person, but their appearance and personality will change. Izuku, and I take it you want to reformat me because of my injuries. Unicron, yes, so do you accept? Izuku thinks of his life and all he went through. Yes. Unicron, good, lifts him up using telekinesis. Izuku grunts in pain. Unicron starts the reformatting procedure. By the power chaos flowing through my veins I hereby turn you into my lost son Scourge. Izuku screams as the reformatting procedure burns and alters his body. Soon Izuku injuries begins to heal, but the scars of the injuries remain. His eyes turn red and his hair becomes black. Soon an reddish-orange light began to engulf Izuku and his body changed into that of a Cybertronian. His human flesh becomes organic Cybertronian steel while his soul and mind turn into a poison-green spark. His Cybertronian body begins to cover up with a rusted brown armor and chains were wrapped around his chest, arms and legs. His right hand turns into a mechanical claw while his left hand has a forearm-mounted dual-sided arm blade, and his hollow Cybertronian face is hid behind a mask that resembles an insignia. Unicorn, behold Scourge. Scourge lands on top of the platform with his optics slowly turning on Scourge. He blinks a few times and he see that reformatting procedure is complete. I feel different and powerful. Scourge lets out a monstrous roar as he feels stronger than anything on the planet. Unicron, I see you have grown accustomed to your Cybertronian body. Scourge, my lord, bows down. Unicron, rise my child, there is something else I forgot to tell you, but first can you turn into your human form? Scourge nods and turns into his human form, which is now different due to the reformatting procedure. Izuku, what is it you wish to say, my lord? Unicron, while reformatting you I learned that Toshinori Yagi isn't your father but instead it's Hisashi Midoriya, and he was killed by this HPSC commission. Izuku puts two and two together and he suddenly realized then that me my quirkest of a mother cheated on my real father with that talking balloon of a hero and that beach covered it up. Unicron, quirkest. Izuku, oh I forgot to mention that in this era humans have superpowers called quirks and well explains how the world is now immediately Unicron let out a roar of dissatisfaction that shook the earth. Unicron, this is injustice. Izuku, my lord please calm down. Unicron, how can I? Izuku, please let it go. Unicron, calms down. Unicron, my apologies for my outburst. Izuku, it's fine my lord but what will we do now? Unicron, that is for you three to decide but I wish to ask Izuku a question. Izuku, what is it my lord? Unicron, do you wish to be my son? Izuku, taken aback by the question what? Unicron, it's that you have suffered long enough and I thought it would be. Izuku, my answer is yes. Unicron, what? Izuku, I would be honored to be your son. Father immediately Unicron lifted Izuku up with his telekinesis and loudly proclaimed Unicron, our prince has returned. The Terracon drones and soldiers and cheered at the return of the Prince of Chaos while Nightbird and Battletrap were happy. The Terracon trio is back again. Unicron, sets Izuku down. Nightbird, so I guess the Terracons is back in action huh? Battletrap, yeah I've been itching to beat the living daylights out of Ultra Magnus. Izuku, turns into his Cybertronian form and looks at the two but first there is something I have to take care of but you two need a human form to go undetected. Battletrap, we got that covered. Turns into his human form along with Nightbird. Battletrap, human Scourge, whoa Nightbird, human being the surrogate children of Unicron has its privileges. Scourge, smirks you guys amaze me. Battletrap, human so what is it that you want to take care of? Scourge, reverts into his human form. Izuku, it's time to show my so-called friends and family the consequences of their actions. Father with your permission can we go visit my so-called family? Unicron, permission granted. Izuku, alright then let's leave. Prepares to leave. Unicron, Izuku, turns around and sees Unicron using his telekinesis to bring a shard of dark energon. Unicron, hands him a shard of dark energon when in great need use it in battle and here gives him information on how to transform. Izuku takes the shard of dark energon and puts it inside his bag. I will. Father turns around and leaves. Back in Japan we see Izuku's burial site and from it emerged a mechanical claw with clumps of dirt falling of it. Soon Scourge emerged from the grave leaving a giant hole in the ground. Scourge, about to leave but quickly noticed that Izumi's bracelet in his servos. Izumi suddenly a portal appeared and from it came Nightbird and Battletrap. Battletrap, I see you dug yourself out. Scourge, indeed the trees hide his appearance while his optics gaze at his now undug grave. Nightbird, so what are we going to do now? Scourge, turns his head towards them and smirks. Nightbird, search and find where the Yagi household is. Nightbird, on it her wings come out and she took to the sky. Battletrap, has the hunt begun? Scourge, yes brother Scourge, Scourge, the hunt has begun and no one can stop it. Nightbird, lands down. I got the location brother Scourge, excellent now let's go. Nightbird, transforms into her alt-mod. Nightbird, Scourge, through the communication network let's go. The Terracons, drives towards the Yagi household. Chapter 2, Reveal and Reunion. Third-person POV at the Yagi household. The family was celebrating Izumi's birthday while it was also Izuku's birthday as well. To be honest asshat parents had completely forgotten that Izuku existed. The party was filled with decorations, presents, delicious food and least of all the guests as Toshinori and Inko were the number 1 and number 8 pro heroes respectively. They had quite the number of friends. Izumi's classmates and their family was present at the celebration. The Todoroki family, the Yaoyorozu family, the Bakugo family, you name it, everyone was present until one brought a question that changed everything. Mitsuki, say Inko, where is Izuku? Inko, huh? What do you mean Mitsuki? Who is Izuku? Everyone stopped what they were doing and turned their attention towards the two women. Mitsuki, Inko, this isn't a joke. What do you mean by, who is Izuku? Inko, I'm being honest, I think you're not well. I don't know who Izuku is. Izumi, sad face, I knew they neglected him but forgetting his existence. Mitsuki, you're telling me you don't even remember your own son? Inko, shocked to see Mitsuki this angry. What do you mean by, son? Mitsuki, Izuku. Your son. Shows her a picture of Izuku and Izumi while both were wearing a All Might hoodie. Inko, who is the, suddenly remember who Izuku is and falls to her knees. Soon Inko burst into tears as she realized her mistake. And negligence is a serious crime and it is not a mistake. Toshinori goes to his wife in an effort to comfort her. Inko, what's wrong? Inko, we messed up real bad. Toshinori, what do you mean? Izumi, I'll tell you. The adults, tell us what? 1A sad face. No. We so screwed. Izumi then proceeded to tell the adults about Izuku's life and they were shocked and said at their children for becoming quirkiest monsters, but they were sad that they didn't notice Izuku's condition earlier. But Izumi told them that he didn't want to burden them and he thought that they would change. Soon the kids received intense glares from their parents because of the atrocities they committed on the poor boy Enji. What is the meaning of this? Shoto, D-Dad-I, Tuya, punches Shoto in the face causing him to fall to the floor. Tuya, answer him. USHT. Starts to beat him up until held back by his mother Rei. Tuya, let me at him mom. Let me at him. Rei, please. Tuya, calm down. Tuya, how can I? Izuku helped me fix my relationship with dad and this hellspawn F bullied him. Izumi just stood there, watched the parents yell at their children while Inko and Toshinori went towards Izuku's room. Inko, Izuku, it's mom. Are you in there, sweetie? Inko, I'm coming in, sweetie. Opened the door and screams in terror of what she had just saw. Inko, everyone, went towards Inko, who is on the floor crying, and say the word, no, repeatedly as everyone took a look at Izuku's room, if you can even call it that. Their faces went pale and their eyes were wide like dinner plates. His room had no lights, no bed, no electronics, nothing. There were some blankets, a pillow, and some clothes thrown all over the floor, with the walls slowly eroding and cobwebs were at every corner of the room. Izumi looks at Inko, who is crying her eyes out, and coldly says to her, I thought you would at least remember his name. Guess I had my expectations were set a bit too high for you, mother, with a hint of malice and hatred. Izumi, and don't even think about apologizing to him because you already lost the chance. The adult, what do you mean by that? Izumi. Izumi looks at her so-called friends who were shaking their heads sideways for Izumi to not tell what happened to Izuku. I'll tell you. Izuku, is Izumi dead? That was the final straw. Mitsuki went up to Inko and started to beat her up, ignoring her pleas to stop, while Enji and Tuya had to calm themselves to avoid burning the entire house down. His aunts were crying for the loss of their nephew, who was like that they never had, while his uncles blamed themselves for not noticing Izuku's condition earlier. But then Gran Torino came and punched Toshinori at his weak spot. GT, UBSTRD. How can you do that to your own son? You don't deserve to be the number one hero, you piece of SHT. Izumi, Grandpa Torino, what do you mean? GT, your father is the number one hero of Japan. Izumi. The kids, what? Then Gran Torino began to explain Toshinori's past to everyone and the reality of his quirk. OFA. They were set at him because not only did he abuse his own son, but he also crushed his dreams as a hero. Aizawa turns towards Izumi. Do you know where he is? Izumi, yes, I gave him a burial, but I think it's time for him to receive a proper one. Nizu agreed. Soon one by one everyone exited the Yagi household and entered their cars. While this was happening, Toshinori called the HPSC commission. They started their cars and goes towards Izuku's now undug grave. While this was going on, the Terracons watched the entire thing and decided to follow them in their alt modes. The ride to the burial site was silent. Everyone was either angry or upset with themselves or their children. Soon they reached the forest where Izumi buried her brother. Everyone gets out of their cars. Nizu, on top of Aizawa's shoulder, is this the place? Izumi nods. Just up this hill. Always like the sunset from this place, so I thought it would be the best place to let him rest at the place he loves. 1A cries silently. Nizu, alright then, lead the way. Izumi, hi, this way. Everyone begins to walk towards Izuku's grave. Everyone follows her as they began their trek to reach his grave. The Terracons, now in their robot form, watched them from the tree line. Scourge, sad face. She knew where to bury me. Nightbird, brother. Scourge stops thinking and turns towards Nightbird. Yes. Nightbird, is that girl with green hair your sister? Scourge, indeed Nightbird, she is the only one who cared for me aside from my aunts and uncles. Battle trap, should we follow them, brother? Scourge, yes, let's go. Starts to follow them along with Nightbird and Battletrap. Soon Izumi and everyone reached the top of the hill and saw the tree with Izuku's name engraved on it. Everyone stopped in their tracks as they quickly noticed that his grave was dug up. Izumi, no, 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 no. Quickly runs towards the undug grave with tears in his eyes. Everyone, just standing behind her while processing what had happened. Izumi, I buried him here, cries loudly Izumi, who took his body away. He has already suffered enough, yet he can't even rot in peace. Is that too much for him to ask? Admittedly, everyone present felt sorrow and sadness as Izuku's grave was dug up and his sister cursing at whatever god who is listening to her. Izumi, all I ever wished for him is to live his life to the fullest, and he made me promise to him that if he dies that I should bury him here. Izumi uses her quirk to levitate 1A to the air, but you monsters just had to make him suffer. All I hear today is how do we live in a world without heroes? Well, he already had two. Almost chokes herself due to her anger. Izumi screams at 1A. I watched as the very person I cared for, the very person who was my true family, get beaten, belittled, abused, broken, neglected and raped, gets killed by a bunch of quirkiest monsters, drops them to the ground. 1A crashes to the ground and groans in pain. Admittedly, the adults were ashamed of their children while 1A was got up, still feeling Izumi's anger and rage. While this was going on, Scourge decided to make his presence known to everyone present. Scourge, it is indeed tragic that someone with such potential gets killed by a bunch of wolves in sheep's clothing, he said that in a dark and mechanical tone. Everyone stays on guard thinking that they might get attacked. Scourge, I could have helped him to become stronger, help him reach his true potential, but alas I was too late. He said that as walked beneath the trees, the only thing that made them easy to notice him was his glowing optics and the chest light that was emanating from his chest. Bakugo, ego kicks in, and who the F are you? A villain. Scourge, I have a name and it's Scourge, and you're a brat that killed a child for a dream he gave up on. 1A, what do you mean? He always wanted to be a hero. Izumi, actually he did give up on that dream and said that he would rather be a teacher or a firefighter. Scourge, see. She understood him better than you guys and helped chatter a new course in his life. A course that he never got to fulfill. 1A, dumbstruck, and said that villain disrespected them. Izumi stares at him. Do you know what happened here? Do you know what happened to my brother Scourge? Scourge, I do. Little one. Scourge, he rose from the dead like a phantom, and he looked different while wearing a weird mask that looked like a symbol of sorts. God, I hate pretending to be a total stranger to my true family. Izumi, crying tears of joy. He's Scourge, he's alive. Little one. Izumi was thrilled to learn that her brother was still alive, and there was a witness who saw it all, but before she could ask Scourge on where Izuku was, but she was interrupted by Bakugo. Shiny fires an explosion at him. Scourge gets hit and falls over. Aizawa wraps him up with his scarf and angrily looks at Bakugo. WTF were you thinking? Bakugo, taking care of a villain. Nizu, you don't even know if he was a gets interrupted when a bolt of light hit Bakugo's shoulder, injuring it. Bakugo, ARGGH. Everyone looks towards the source of the blast to see Scourge holding up a cannon of sorts and starts walking towards them. Scourge, I thought that after my death you would change, you mutt. Walks through the tree line while his optics gaze at the injured Bakugo. 1A, activates their quirk. Scourge, yet here you are. Unworthy of the power bestowed upon you. You think you the greatest. Bakugo, I am the greatest and I will be the new no one. Scourge, you will be nothing but a low-tier villain that even the villains would abandon. But when I kill you I'll enjoy every second of how you bleed and beg me to stop. I won't. Admittedly, everyone was shocked at how Scourge berating Bakugo and was even willing to kill him. Scourge, that is something I'd call savory, he said that as he exits the tree line revealing himself. Scourge, everyone was shocked as they look at Scourge, who turns out to be a living robot that towered over All Might. Everyone was shocked and afraid as they have never seen a robot this big or capable of conveying emotions. But Izumi noticed something wrapped around Scourge's hand, the same bracelet she put on Izuku's grave. Scourge, perhaps one of you knows who I am, right? Izumi, I know who you really are. Scourge, Scourge, and pray tell, who do you think I am? Izumi. Izumi, you're the one we have been searching for, aren't you? Izuku. Scourge, chuckles clever girl. Mike, you can't be serious. Izumi, that's machine isn't Izuku. Scourge, Uncle Mike, weren't you the one that stole the fruit cakes that Aunt Ray made during every Christmas? Ray, that was you. Mike, nervously chuckles Scourge, and Aunt Ray, didn't I help you and Fuyumi with the chores around the house and you treated me with pistachio and vanilla ice cream? Immediately all the adults ran and hugged Izuku, now calling himself Scourge. The adults, it's really you Izuku. Scourge, hugs them with his right arm. Yes, it's me, Ray, but how the doctor said you're a quirkless Scourge, I'll explain later, but first, Battle Trap, Nightbird, show yourselves. The adults, who are you talking to? Soon out of the tree came two other robots, one that had feminine features while one was a bulky tank. Scourge, I'd like you to meet my crew and siblings Battle Trap and Nightbird. And guys, turn into your human forms. Nightbird, okay brother. Turns into her human form along with Battle Trap. Izuku, DMN, I look hot. 1A girl's sad face. Daddy. Izumi, blushing at the sight of her brother, I knew my brother was chick magnet, but DMN, he looks so fine. Inko, my baby. Runs towards Izuku to hug him. Izuku, side steps to the right causing Inko to crash to the ground. Inko, ow, gets up. Sweetie, why did you dodge my hug? Izuku, I do not wish to be hugged by a quirkiest that cheats and seks a balloons. Toshinori, son, that is no way to talk to your mother. Apollo, Izuku, isn't my mother nor are you my father, you fat balloon. Pages. My real father is Hisashi Midoriya, the one you killed with the help of the HPSC Commission. Izumi, huh? What do you mean, Oni-chan? Izuku, sighs. Izumi, I'm not actually you brother, I'm actually your step-brother. My real father is Hisashi Midoriya, who Inko cheated on for All Might. Izumi, shocked. Izuku, All Might killed my father with the help of the HPSC Commission. Bakugo, and where is the proof, you DMN? Deku. Izuku, smirks. Right here, points to his eyes. Suddenly Izuku's eyes starts to glow and a beam of light appeared as which showed All Might snapping the neck of Hisashi at a alleyway. Enji then went towards All Might and did something out of character. Enji, you DMN murderer, punches Toshinori at his weak spot. Toshinori, Enji, you killed my best friend. Kicks him in the stomach. Enji, I'm going to burn you up. Scourge, stand down uncle. Enji, what? Scourge, you kill him now, he will become a martyr for Japan, but break him, humiliate him and put him for the whole world to see, then he is nothing but a man. Enji, slowly understood what he meant. Enji, looks at Toshinori and goes to his family. We're leaving. Shoka, Bubit. Dad, Ray, listen to your father. Young lady. Shoka, yes mother. Goes home with her family. Soon the families start leaving and goes home until Izuku, Nightbird, Battle Trap, and the Yagi family was left along with Aizawa and Nizu. Izuku, let's go, turns into his Cybertronian form and begins to leave with Nightbird and Battle Trap. Inko, my bab. Aizawa, neck chops her and leaves with Nizu. Izumi, looks at Toshinori with disgust. I thought you were the greatest hero of all time, but now you are nothing but a fake. Leaves to go home. Toshinori sighs as he picks Inko up and prepares to leave. Chapter 3, the mission and return. Third-person POV. 2 years after the events of the second chapter, Izuku became more accustomed to his Cybertronian body and started to hunt criminals and fakes under the order of his father Unicron. During the 2 years, Nizu thought of blacklisting Izuku's tormentors, but he had a meeting with the HPSC president who wants 1A to enroll at UA. And the conversation was hectic to say the least. Flashback. Nizu, you want me to what? MP, you heard me. Nizu, I want you to enroll the kids, she said that as she places a picture of 1A, Izuku and Izumi. Nizu, do you even know what they did? MP, I do, but we can't waste any potential heroes. Nizu, more like potential villains. These brats killed my favorite nephew. MP, so what? He was quirkless nobody, and like I said, the strong must cull the weak. Nizu, so you let All Might kill Inquisitor because he was weak. An Inquisitor is Hisashi's hero name. I see many fanfic with his hero name as Salamander, so I decided to change it. MP, we need strong heroes, not heroes that are weak. MP, and don't forget we fund you, so you listen to me, you weakling. Nizu, weak like you or your daughter Alicia. He said that as the HPSC president, eyes widen like dinner plates. MP, how did you? Nizu, a little birdie told me. He pulled out a piece of paper from his pocket which has Morse code written on it. MP, realizes her quirk. Nizu, the he perks of having a military-based quirk. You may hold more power over me, MDM president, but don't forget I know everything about you and your Nizu secrets, and trust me, I will tell the public. As he said that, MDM president rose from her seat. MP, you wouldn't dare. Nizu, lets out a chuckle. Oh, I would, but I want to see my enemies suffer before they are defeated. MP, goes to the door and opens it, then proceeds to exit before turning her head towards Nizu. MP, I'll make you pay for this. Exits the room. Flashback ends after that. Nizu met and told Izuku of the meeting. Izuku started to become more accustomed to his Cybertronian body and mastered the use of Dark Energon and the ability to control the undead, though he only uses 2 undead warriors as he doesn't want to exhaust his Dark Energon reserves. He began his first hunt after he learned of the first Scourge's obsession with hunting and quickly amassed over 67 kills while taking insignias or anything that might identify if they are a hero or villain. Over at 1A their parents were disappointed with them. They took away their belongings and electronics, but when they were allowed to enter UA they were happy they could become heroes, but a few people like Bakugo, Shoto, and Lita blame Izuku. Over at the Yagi household the family was in utter chaos. Inko, who was the No. 8 hero, had dropped to 11. She often hallucinates that a All Might onesie is a 4-year-old Izuku and was going slightly psychotic. All Might lost the respect of his friends and Night Eye cut all connections with him and was constantly tormented by Hisashi in his dreams, calling him a murderer and fake, while Izumi actually didn't care about her parents due to the fact they neglected and borderline forgotten about Izuku's existence. She developed a hobby of reading and gained cooking tips, survival tactics, and learned martial arts online. Izuku's POV: it's been 2 years since I was killed by my tormentors and reformatted by my father, Unicron. I always thought that my life would amount to nothing, but now I have a real family, but I still needed the world to know how the quirkless are treated, and I knew just where to start. Izuku, meditating in his chambers. Nightbird enters his chamber and taps his shoulder. Brother. Izuku opens his eyes and looks at his sister. What do you need, sister? Nightbird: father wishes to speak to you. Izuku: what's the reason? Nightbird: I do not know, but whatever it is it must be important. Walks out of his chambers. Izuku: strange, I haven't upset it, father. Perhaps a mission or a simple question to be answered. Soon Izuku went to meet his father at the floating platform. He was intrigued as to why his father had asked for his audience. Izuku turns into his Cybertronian form and speaks: Scourge, awaken my father. Kneels down as Scourge said that Unicron's blazing yellow optics turn on, and he looks at his son and speaks: Unicron, rise my son. Scourge does as he was told. What is it you wish to speak to me, father? Did I displease you? Unicron: no, you did not. I know you wish to protect your sister Izumi Yagi, do you not? Scourge: yes, father, even though we have different fathers, she cared for me. I wish to repay her kindness. Unicron: I know, that is why I'm giving you this mission. You, Nightbird, and Battletrap will protect your sister Izumi Yagi by joining the same establishment she wishes to enter. Scourge: I understand the mission, father, but you do realize that there might be a high chance they might be present there as well. Unicron: I know you are angry at them, but do this for the people who cared for you. Scourge: as you wish, father, I won't fail you. He bows down as the platform takes him to lower ground. Unicorn: I know you won't. Closes his eyes and rests. Soon after that, Scourge informed his siblings about the mission given to them by their father. Of course, Nightbird and Battletrap were excited to meet with Izumi as they have steady relation. Soon they opened a portal to Japan and wander the streets of Japan in their human form. Izuku, currently drinking a boba tea while Nightbird and Battletrap were close behind him. Izuku: Battletrap, it feels good to use our human forms. He said that as he stretches his arms. Nightbird: you said it, brother. He said that as she runs her hand through his hair. Battletrap: hey, stop that. Starts to pull her ear. Nightbird: hey. Izuku smiles at the two. Never a dull moment with you, these two. Soon they heard an explosion and they went towards where it came from. They saw Kamui Woods, Backdraft, Death Arms, and Empty Lady dealing with a villain with a slime-based quirk, but Izuku quickly noticed that the villain had both Katsuki and Izumi held hostage, and Death Arms was say that none of their quirks were compatible with the situation. Izuku goes to an secluded alleyway and turns into his Cybertronian form. Kamui Woods: Empty Lady, shrink down and help me. Empty Lady: but my, suddenly a bolt of ionized plasma hit the sludge villain, causing it be burned. Sludge, arg. Screams in pain. Empty Lady: Kamui Woods, who did that? Scourge: I did. As everyone turned their attention to source of the voice, they see the 38-foot-tall robot trophy hunter vigilante with over 67 kills. Scourge: Izumi, Oni-chan. Katsuki, Deku. Scourge rushes towards the villain with high speed and fires 3 shots at the villain. Avoid Izumi and Katsuki despite his reluctance to save the human dog. Water firecracker. Sludge screams in agony as he drops both Izumi and Katsuki. Both runs to the hero. Scourge plunges his right hand into the villain and the sludge slowly falls off revealing a man from within the slimy substance and puts him to the ground. Man quickly noticed that he isn't covered by the sludge. What? I'm back in my human form, but how? Scourge, because I erased your quirk. Man, but why? Why would you erase my quirk? Everyone thought of me as monster my entire life. Scourge, because I too was mistreated by this world and its corrupted ideology. Scourge blocks a punch from All Might with his forearm, and I thought you were nothing but a rotting shell. All Might, about to say something but is sent crashing into the wall. Scourge had his cannon aimed at him and looks at the man. I can offer you a new life if you wish. The choice is yours. Man, will I be able to live a life I dream? Scourge, yes, so what's your answer? Man thinks of his whole life and makes his decision. My answer is yes. Scourge, excellent, picks him up in his servos and was about to be transformed when he was grabbed by Lady. I got him. Scourge, you fool. Frees his left arm and uses his cannon to fire 5 shots at Lady's torso. Lady, arg. Let's go of Scourge. Scourge lands on his heel, strunts and puts the man down before giving him a piece of paper. If you wish to see me, meet me here. Disable the erasure effect on his quirk. Man, thank you. Scourge uses his quirk to get away. Death arms, you villain. Goes to punch him. Scourge simply grabs him in his servos and throws him aside. Scourge looks at Backdraft and Kamui Woods. You proved yourselves as worthy heroes. I apologize for attacking your subordinates, though it was self-defense. Kamui Woods, I understand too, are so full of themselves. I wonder how they even became heroes in the first place. Scourge, so do I. Transforms into his alt modes and drives off to meet a few people from his past at Aldera Middle School. We see the teachers who tormented Izuku enjoying themselves with drinks and snacks. History, drinking with his subordinates. Ah, we have the best jobs, don't we? Maths, you said it. Those kids will become great heroes in the future. Principal, unlike that worthless. Deku laughs. Then all of a sudden the wall gets blasted to smithereens, killing 2 teachers. Aldera staff looks through the hole in the wall and sees Scourge walking through the blasted gate alongside his teammates, the Terracons. Principal, the Terracons. Maths, what are they doing here? Scourge, his back opens up and two Terracon freezer drones came and sits upon his shoulder. Scourge, rip out their organs from their worthless bodies and bring me their corpses. The 2 Terracon freezer drones jump from his shoulder and start sprinting towards their targets. Aldera staff. After a few moments the freezer drones killed all of the staff members except the principal, who Scourge wanted an audience with. Principal, breathing heavily, and looks at Scourge as he is currently held down by the freezer drones. Scourge, I always wondered why you allowed them to do what they were doing, so can you tell me? Scourge, why? Principal, I don't even know you. Scourge, of course you forgot, but 2 years ago I was nothing more but a worthless. Kneels down to his level and whispers into his ear. Deku. Principal, shocked Deku. Scourge, stabs his thigh with his digits, cause his femur to break and muscle torn. Principal, screams in pure agony. Scourge, no, that's not my name. Principal, Izuku, please have Mare. Scourge, sorry. All out of mercy activates his welding lasers at the tip of his digits and aims it at him. Tell me the truth. Off, why did what you did and who let you actions slide? Principal, okay, I'll tell him how he thought that he would ruin his school's reputation and how the HPSC commission supported his actions at the price of them increasing his and the staff's salaries. Scourge stands up and looks at Nightbird. Is it recorded? Nightbird, all of it, brother. Principal, what do you mean recorded? Scourge, I asked Nightbird to record everything you just said, and as for you, aims his welding lasers at his PP and burns it to a crisp. Principal screams in pain as his pride and reproductive system is gone. Nightbird silences him by cutting his head clean of his neck. Scourge, was that necessary? Nightbird, you destroyed his pride. I freed the world from a crying lazy F who complains about his allowance. Scourge, and yet I don't see my uncle Aizawa here. At Aizawa sneezes random. God bless you, Aizawa. Thanks, but who is talking about me? Back to Scourge. Battle trap, so what do we do now? Scourge thinks of what to do and has idea. Scourge, how about we trap these sorry F heirs in the limbo? Nightbird, ingenious. Battle trap, you said it, let the suffer in a constant state of life and death. Scourge, alright, let's drop them into the limbo. Opens a rift to the limbo and throws the Aldera staff through the rift. Scourge closes the rift. Scourge, alright, let's go meet up with Izumi. Nightbird and Battle trap, yeah. Transforms into their alt mode Scourge, does the same the Terracons, drives off to meet Izumi. After a few minutes they met up with Izumi, who was delighted to see them. They talked and hung out, and she lives with Aizawa since she cannot stand being with her so-called parents, and Scourge told her about what they did in Aldera Middle School and she was angry at them. Izumi, I can't believe you did that without me. The Terracons, huh? Well, the Terracons and Izumi enjoyed their time and went their separate ways as Izumi wanted to prepare for the UA entrance exam. And boy, is she in for a surprise for the century or the millennium. Soon the Terracons went to the abandoned train yard they use as their hideout in the surface and went into time stasis. Stasis is the equivalent of sleep or coma for Transformers. Chapter 4, the entrance exam, third-person POV. 2 weeks after the events of Chapter, the Terracons were heading towards UA through their alt modes. When they reached UA, many looked at Scourge's alt modes as it is a Peterbilt 369 Mad Max truck, a vehicle that's not in Japan. They went to secluded area and transformed Cybertronian form then into their human forms. The Terracons, Nightbird, ready as I'll ever be. Battle trap, yeah, let's show them what we're made of. The Terracons, yeah. Izuku, alright then let's head inside. Enters the building with his team but quickly notices that 1A is here as well. Izuku's POVF. I hoped I'd never encounter them. I mentally curse myself while walking with my team when I heard voice of a person I hate the most, Lida. He is complaining about how we were breaking the school norms. Lida, hey you three, why aren't you wearing your uniforms? If you think this some sort of fashion show then get out. He said that as the examinees look at Lida like a moron. The Terracons, sighs and continues walking away, ignoring his tantrum. Izumi uses her quirk to lift a pebble and throws it at his PP with high speed and force. Admittedly, everyone present heard a loud crack and a loud god-awful scream that would make the babies stop screaming. Lida, AHRGGH, falls to the ground while holding his wounded and shattered PP. 1A looks at Izumi in shock as she just did that to Lida. Kirishima, Izumi, what's wrong with you? Throwing a pebble at Lida bro's pages. Izumi, if you don't want yours to be crushed then leave me alone. 1A boys, scared of the fact of getting hit in the PP. Izumi proceeds to walk away but is stopped by Mina. Please Izumi, tell us where Izubabe is. Izumi, why? So you can beat him up. Momo, no, so we can be together. He deserves to be with us. Izumi, weren't you the beach that stabbed him in the chest and had your way with him? Momo looks down. Izumi, he deserves to be happy not to be with some wares who have 0 brain cells. Proceeds to eke away. Katsumi, it's okay Momo, we will get Ai-chan back. Shoka, yeah. Soon the examinees along with 1A got to the respective exam halls where they would conduct the written test and was greeted by the pro-hero Ectoplasm. Ectoplasm, greetings everyone. The examinees, hello Ectoplasm, I know all of you are here to become heroes. But in any competition there is always a winner and loser. Ectoplasm, but do not be discouraged. Even if you couldn't make it to the hero course, there is always a way to acquire your dreams. My mother told me that failure is the greatest teacher in life, so don't be sad that you failed. Try harder and harder and you will eventually succeed. But it's important for all of you to know that if you manage to get in, you must leave room to wonder, because many people said that in their life they don't have the room or time to wonder. So as request and advice, keep some room for wonder, because from wonders come the greatest of things. The Terracons. Wow, Izumi wasn't kidding when she told that Ectoplasm can give encouragement to people. Ectoplasm, now I know all of you know what's happening here, but to those that don't, this is the first phase of the UA entrance exam. An written exam to show your level of intelligence and logical thinking. You all have 1 hour and 30 minutes to finish the exam. Ectoplasm, and your time starts now. As he said that, the clock began to tick backwards. The examinees begins the exam and starts writing. The Terracons looks at class as they're struggling to get the answers. Izuku, wow, they really thought that strength was all they needed. Izuku looks at Izumi, who wasn't hammered down by the question. She's going to do great, I know it. After 45 minutes the Terracons and Izumi finished the exam and went towards Ectoplasm. Ectoplasm looks at the 4. Can I help you kids? Izuku, all 4 of us finished the exam. Ectoplasm, are you certain that you don't wish to review your answers for any errors? There's still 45 minutes left. Izumi, no, we already reviewed our answers. We also noticed the intentional grammar mistakes. Ectoplasm, shocked that 4 examinees completed the exam in 45 minutes and found the grammar mistakes alright, then off you go. The 4, thank you. Leaves the hall and goes towards hall where the second phase would begin at the hall's Izumi. So what are you guys doing here at UA? Izuku, well, my father knew that I cared for you, so he told me that I can attend UA and quite possibly be a hero. Izumi, wait. Are you for real? Nightbird, yep, everything he said is true. Izumi, I get to hang out with my chick magnet brother and his crew while attending UA. Battle Trap, yeah, I'll PND those F-airs to the ground if they even touch him. Nightbird and Izumi, count us in. Soon the rest of the examinees who passed the written exam got to the physical exam hall where they were greeted by the 4 along with Present Mike. Present Mike, what's up, little listeners? Can I get a yeah? Everyone, Izuku, yeah. Nightbird and Izumi, huya. Battle Trap, yeah. Present Mike, I'm crying tears of happiness inside, thank you guys. Present Mike, adjust his voice now, then welcome to the second phase of the UA entrance exam, or what we like to call Present Mike, Battle Mania. Present Mike, Battle Mania is the second phase of the exam where you have to show your tactical skills, prowess and adaptive capabilities. Now you might be thinking, how does this exam work? Well, it's simple. Present Mike, robots. For robots to be specific, in the pamphlets in front of you will see the robot silhouettes. You must defeat, destroy, or disable the robots to gain points. There is one pointer which has 3 points, also known as tank, the 2-pointer with 2 points called Firestarter, then the 3-pointer with 1 point known as the Orchestrator, and then there is Lida, stood up on his butt, excuse me, SIR. Present Mike, yes, little listener. Lida, I think UA has made a mistake. You said there are 4 robots in the test and yet there is only 3 robot silhouettes shown in the pamphlet. This is a prestigious hero school and yet you make mistakes like this. And you. Points at the Terracons plus Izumi, you 4 were talking instead of paying attention, and it's disturbing the other participants. If you are here for joy and not take this seriously, then I suggest you leave the premises immediately. Izuku stands up from his seat. Present Mike, permission to speak. Present Mike, permission granted, little listener. Izuku, thank you, turns to Lida. Now listen here, you high-end. Present Ms. was going to explain the 4th robot, and if you claim to be paying attention you would have guessed the 4th robot already. We were discussing because we were forming a strategy to help us gain points for the exam, and you said we were disturbing other while you literally stood up on your butt like a monkey with a stick up his butt and started ranting and causing a ruckus yourself. Izuku takes a deep breath. Do is all a favor, shut your trap and sit down. Lida sits down because of embarrassment and how the other participants call him a moron. Izuku continue. Present Mike sits down. Present Mike, thank you, little listener. Now then, unlike someone glares at Lida, the 4th robot is the 0-pointer. As its name suggests, it is worth 0 points and is an obstacle, so ignore it. Present Mike, that is all I have to say. Break a leg, little listeners. Soon the participants were instructed to which fake city they were going. The Terracons and Izumi got City B and quickly boarded the bus that was going to transport them to the entrance of the city, but realized that some of 1A were in the bus as well. Participant 1, so what are your guys' thought on that? Guy points towards Izuku, who was talking with his siblings. Participant 2, I think he is genuinely chill guy, but we can't judge a book by its cover now, can we? Participant 3, no we cannot. So what do you think his quirk is? Participant 2, why not ask him? Participant 3, sure, I'll go. Goes towards Izuku, who was talking with Nightbird and Izumi about a possible crossover between the Equalizer and John Wick franchises. Izumi, I'm saying Denzel Washington's Robert McCall can be the perfect partner to Keanu Reeves's John Wick. Izuku, John Wick is like a person that even the villains wouldn't mess with. I mean, he killed 3 people with a pencil. Nightbird, I saw John Wick 1 and 2 and they were awesome in my opinion. Participant 3, hello there. Izuku turns around to meet the person. Izuku, hello miss, is something wrong? Participant 3 blushes at the sight of Izuku's well-toned body, though the blush is unnoticeable. No, I just wanted to know you. I'm Itsuka Kendo. Kendo, Izuku, nice to meet you. Kendo, I'm Izuku Midoriya and these 3 are my siblings. Nightbird, nice to meet you. Izumi, same here. Battle Trap, what up doc? Izuku, so you want to talk? Gestures his hand towards the empty seat beside him. Kendo, sure, sits down beside him. I just wanted to thank you for shutting that blue-haired boy, she said that as she runs her left ear. Izuku, hearing problems. Kendo, only temporary, I have a ear blockage. Izumi, that must be a pain to deal with. Kendo, you have no idea. Izuku, so how about we change the subject, shall we? Kendo, okay, how about we, gets interrupted when the bus stops. Nightbird, looks like we're here, brother. Izuku, alright, cracks his knuckles. Turns, let's continue this at a later date, shall we? Kendo, of course. Soon the participants were in front of the gate. They prepared themselves by either stretching or by doing some simple things like doing some tricks with their quirks or just doing some breathing exercises. Izuku, preparing himself for the exam until he saw Kendo looking a bit nervous. Izuku, must be nervous, walks towards Kendo. Lita, stops him by grabbing his shoulder. Are you trying to sabotage the girl? That's Izuku, yanks Lita's hand from his shoulder and walks towards Kendo. Izumi, was near Lita. You really are a idiotic scumbag. Izuku, Kendo, are you alright? Kendo, looks at Izuku. Oh hey Midoriya. No, I'm just nervous because I fear I won't pass. Izuku, Kendo, take a deep breath. It will calm your mind and heart. Kendo, does what he said and starts to feel at ease. Thank you Midoriya for the tip. Izuku, you're welcome. Also enter the city when the gates open, as there is no cooldown in real life. Kendo, nods as she understood what he meant. Then the gates open and the Terracons, Izumi and Kendo rushed inside the city. While Lita screams because of his idiocy. Lita, HUI. Present Mike didn't finish the countdown. Present Mike, what are you waiting for? There is no countdown in battles. Present Mike, go. Go. The participants, rushes inside the fake city to see the utter destruction caused by the five that went first. What the participants saw, what the F? Izuku, who is in his Scourge form, destroyed 5 2-pointers gaining 10 points. Scourge, uses his corruption gun to infect a few pointers who became his puppets. Destroy yourselves. The pointers, starts to fight each other at the observation room. Nizu, we got quite the batch this year. Aizawa, even though some of them don't deserve to be here, hinting at 1A midnight, true, and handsome ones as well. All Might, enters the room along with Telek UA's staff, sad and mad that they are with them. All Might, Nizu is Aizu. Nizu, I'm gonna stop you right there. He isn't your son, he is Hisashi's son. Inko, Nizu please, I just want my baby to come home. Loudly crying face. Nizu, you neglected and borderline forgotten his existence, and now you want him to come to that hellhole you call home. Inko, I know I made a mistake, but I want him to be with me. Aizawa, negligence is not a mistake. Inko, besides, weren't you the beach that cheated on the Johnny Bravo ripoff? Points at All Might. All Might, Nizu, can you tell me how my daughter is doing? Nizu, puts up Izumi's current score on the monitor. She's doing well, her current score is 87 points and her rank is 3rd. All Might, what? Then who is first? Nizu. Nizu, checks who is first and smirks because of who came up. Well, this is just got better and better. Aizawa, who's first? Nizu. Nizu, I believe we all know him, as he said that Izuku's name, score, and rank came up on the monitor. Nizu, meet Izuku's Scourge. Midoriya shows them the picture of him in his Cybertronian form. What they saw, Nizu, formerly known as Izuku Yagi. Inko, my baby. All Might, but how? He is quirkless. Nizu, he awakened his quirk. It turns out he was a late bloomer. Midnight, what's his current score? Nizu, 3,452 points under a 5 minutes. UA staff, WTF. That much in 5 minutes. Aizawa, he going to be a pain. Nizu, I think it's time. Nizu, right, my sleep-deprived zombie. Presses a button that says do not press. Nizu, HAHAHA. Midnight, alright, who the F put sugar in his tea? Back at the fake city, Scourge, stabs a pointer in the head and blasts it before jumping away. Nightbird, in her Cybertronian form along with Battletrap. This is more fun than I thought. Battletrap, yeah, is that the best they can do? Suddenly the 0-pointer emerged from the ground and stared at the participants with its cold emotionless sensors. Scourge, looks at Battletrap along with Nightbird. You had to ask. 0-pointer, starts attacking the participants. The participants, runs away. The Terracons plus Izumi, about to turn away until they suddenly heard a scream. Scourge, Nightbird, find the source. Nightbird, her wings come out and takes to the sky. Nightbird, searching for the source until she found it. Brother, it's that kendo girl from before, she's stuck in rubble and the 0-pointer is going to crush her. Izumi, looks at her brother. What's the plan? Scourge, hit it hard, hit fast and hit it alive. Rushes towards Kendo to free her. Battle trap, his right arm turns into a machine gun and fires at the 0-pointer. Izumi, uses her telekinesis to slow the 0-pointer down. Scourge, reaches where Kendo stuck. Kendo. Can you hear me? Kendo, weakly. Midoriya. Scourge, closes your eyes and rest. Lifts up the rubble and throws it aside. Kendo, does as she was told. Scourge, lifts her up and transforms into his alt mode. Scourge, drives towards where Battletrap and Izumi is. Scourge, transforms back and places Kendo on the ground gently. Izumi, checks her if she is okay. She's good, just some minor injuries. Scourge, good, turns his left arm into a cannon and fires a dark energon shot at the pointer as the 0-pointer was hit by dark energon. It caused it to be infected and be under the control of Scourge, who knew just what to do. Scourge, tear your head off. 0-pointer, grabs its head, starts to tear it off. Scourge, let's go, walks away from the fake city while him turning into his human form. Battletrap and Nightbird, does the same. Izumi, carries Kendo with her telekinesis and left the fake city. The 0-pointer then finally ripped off its own head and explodes due to the dark matter that affected its system core, causing it to explode. The participants, fearful face at the observation room. UA staff, fearful face All Might and Inko, fearful face Nizu. Mike announced that the exam is over. Present Mike, okay, time's up everyone. If anybody has any injuries, please go to the nurse's office, your results will be given to after a 2-week checking. Present Mike, and can the 5 that entered the fake city first meet the principal? The Terracons, starts walking towards the principal's office. Izumi, gives Kendo to the medical bots and goes to follow the Terracons. Chapter 5, The Talk and Primordial Blade. Third-person POV. In the previous chapter we saw how the Terracons and Izumi demolished the physical exam while also having a small conversation with Itsuka Kendo. When the 0-pointer was released, it was about to crush Kendo were it not for the Terracons and Izumi, who used their powers to stop them, while Izuku or Scourge freed Kendo and corrupted the 0-pointer to tear its head off. Now we see the 4 walking through the halls towards the principal's office. Izumi, so why do you think they called us? Nightbird, my guess is that All Might and Telek wants him to come back. Battletrap, I'm with her on this. They can't seem to wrap their heads around the fact that he wants nothing to do with them. Izuku, I swear if they say what you said I'll blast the to smithereens. Izumi, can I join? She said that in a small voice. Izuku, what? Did you say something? Izumi, nope. Nothing. The Terracons, why I'm feeling that she will be handful in the future. After a few minutes they reached the principal's office, and boy was Izuku about to blow a gasket. Due to his Cybertronian hybrid biology, he heard that Inko wants him to marry Izumi. I hate making Inko bad, it's like I'm committing treason. Izuku opens the door to see that the entire UA staff is present along with his parents. Great Inko, my baby. Runs to hug him but was greeted by a strong slap by Izuku. Think Will Smith slapping Chris Rock. Izuku, nope. I'm not letting you touch, let alone hug me, you quirkiest All Might. Son, that is not how you talk to you. Izumi, I'ma stop you right there. Father, did you forget Article 235 of the Japanese Constitution? Izumi, if a member of a family is neglected for more than 8 years, the neglected person can disown their last name. Inko, no. Izuku, that's right Inko, I'm not longer your son, I have true family now, one that doesn't neglect me for being weak. One that cared for me. Inko, that's not true, I care for you. You're my son. Izuku, if you do care for me then answer this, who is my favorite hero? Inko, that's easy, it's your father All Might. Izuku, wrong. My favorite hero is Eraserhead. Because he fights villains quirkless and uses skill unlike this Johnny Bravo ripoff, points to All Might, and he is not my father. Izuku, you failed yet again Inko. Nizu, alright nephew, that's enough. Izuku, Sorry Uncle Nizu, it's just being with these demons invoke the rage in me. Nizu, you are not the only ones. Izuku, I see, so what's the reason for calling us here? Nizu, oh yes, I nearly forgot, but where is Miss Kendo? Izumi, she's with recovery girl, she had minor injuries but we need to make sure that she doesn't have any broken bones. Nizu, understandable. So Izuku, I wanted to know something, what is your quirk? Izuku, I suppose I can tell you all, but first can you bring Detective Naomasa here? Nizu, sure, I'll bring him, and takes out his phone and calls Naomasa. After 15 minutes Naomasa came and greeted everyone present, even the Yagis, despite him knowing what they did. Naomasa, so Nizu, why did you call me here? Nizu, he asked for you here. Points at Izuku. Naomasa looks at Izuku. I take it that you're Izuku Midoriya. Izuku, you're correct. Detective Naomasa, true. Izuku, so Uncle Nizu asked me what you said before. Nizu, so Izuku, what is your quirk? Izuku, truth be told I'm still quirkless. Naomasa, true. Everyone, the Terracons, shocked. Izumi, wait, you're still quirkless? But how did you turn into 38-foot-tall living robot? Izuku, that's because I am a Cybertronian hybrid. Naomasa, true, but what do you mean by Cybertronian hybrid? Izuku, well, I'll tell you everything. Begins to explain his power and how he gained it. Izuku then proceeded to tell everyone how he was killed by 1A, then met his adopted father Unicron and siblings Battletrap and Nightbird, then how his father reformatted into the second Prince of Chaos Scourge, and the story of Unicron and his brother Primus, and how they fought each other, disrupting the balance of the universe with every battle until he was defeated by the 13 original primes. Everyone was shocked as their eyes were wide as dinner plates. They looked at Naomasa, who was also shocked, asking him if it was true, in which he said yes. Until the two idiots told Izuku the most ridiculous and stupid thing ever in his life ever. All Might, tell us where is that villain is. Inko, yeah, he doesn't deserve to be you father. He is nothing but a monster. Izuku, get said, and turns into his Cybertronian form, but he was as tall as Ass Might. Scourge, shut up, you quirkiest monsters. You don't deserve to talk to my father like that, considering the fact without him Earth won't exist. Everyone, the Terracons and Nizu, huh? What do you mean? Scourge, turns into his human form with his eyes closed and he opens them, revealing his fiery red eyes. Izuku, oops. This image does not follow our content guidelines. To continue publishing, please remove it or upload a different image. Izuku, after his defeat against Primus, he wandered the void of space until he reached out solar system, where he became the very seed of the Earth. All Might, so what? We can just siphon him out of the Earth. Nizu, he isn't inside the Earth's core. Toshinori, he is the Earth's core. Izumi, put 2 and 2 together, so if we siphon him out it will cause the destruction of the planet. Izuku, Uncle Nizu, and she is correct. If you want to live on Earth you should not mess with our father. Nizu, All Might and Telek, stand down. All Might, but Sir H. Nizu, that is an order. All Might and Inko, yes Sir Nizu, so I guess that's everything now. Does anyone has any questions to ask or doubts to clear? Everyone, the Terracons, no Sir Nizu, alright then. Izuku, you're free to leave. Izuku, thank you. Uncle Nizu leaves the room with his siblings following close behind. After the meeting Izuku went towards the nurse's office to meet Kendo to learn that she was picked from here by her parents. After that he met up with Battletrap and Nightbird and went to their hideout. While traveling there Izuku had an idea for a powerful weapon. At the hideout the Terracons transforms into their Cybertronian forms, then into their human forms. Izuku, hey Nightbird. Nightbird turns to meet him. Yes brother. Izuku, can you open a portal to father? Nightbird, I'm kind of new to the field, but you should ask Battletrap, he is more adept at it than me. Izuku, alright thanks. Goes to where Battletrap is. Nightbird goes to her place in the hideout to rest at Battletrap's area. Izuku walks in to see him checking his machine gun for any damages. Hey brother. Battletrap stops what he is doing and looks at him. Hey, what's up? Izuku, Nightbird told me that you can make a portal to father. Battletrap, yeah I can, but why do you wish to see father? Izuku, I'll tell you after I'm done visiting father. Battletrap, alright suit yourself. Opens a portal to Unicron. Izuku goes inside and the portal closes at the Earth's core. Izuku, standing on the floating platform for speaking with his father. Izuku, awaken my father, he said that as he turns into his Cybertronian form and kneels. Unicorn, his optics slowly opens and looks at Scourge. My son, why are you here? Scourge, I wish to ask your permission to build something. Unicorn, what do you intend to build? Scourge, something that can help me practicing my dark energon powers. A weapon if you will, father. Unicorn, I see, well, permission granted. Show me this weapon once you're finished. Scourge, yes, father. Rises up and the platform goes to the weapons forge. After looking at the materials he needed, he picked them and started to think on what he wishes to create until he got it. Scourge, I don't exactly remember which time frame it is, so I apologize for the mishap. Scourge places a hunk of dark energon and starts pounding it with a hammer until the dark energon was sharpened to his need. Scourge puts it on top of a table and activates his welding lasers to trim any unsymmetrical parts. The dark energon was now looking like a double-sided sword and was giving of a dark, almost corrupting crackle. Scourge takes a bar of durbillium and starts to cut it with his arm. Blade. Scourge takes the portions he needs and starts to work on turning it into a handle with a dark energon crystal at the middle. Scourge takes the dark energon blade and slowly attaches it to the durbillium handle and sealing it with his welding lasers. The weapon, the primordial blade, drawn by me, abilities 1 dark energon slashes 2 raising the undead 3 thunderstorm creation 4 manipulation of the beings or objects that came in contact with dark energon 5 spewing flames infused with dark energon 6 creating dark energon spikes from the ground 7 healing anyone with the regenerative capabilities of dark energon 8 absorption of energon. Scourge takes it in his hand and a surge of power courses through him. Scourge lets out a monstrous roar as he succeeds in creating a weapon fashioned from the very thing coursing through his veins. Scourge, ha ha ha, yes. Scourge puts it on his back, then goes to the floating platform and goes to tell his father of his creation. Scourge, father, I have finished my weapon. Unicorn, show me. Scourge, Scourge, behold the primordial blade. As he said that, the blade started to emit a dark crackle. Unicorn looks at the primordial blade with fascination. It dosed my anti-spark. Good to see my children tampering with creation. Unicorn, what can it do? Scourge explains the abilities of the primordial blade. Unicorn, impressed. You certainly have created a magnificent weapon. With the power of this blade you can defeat Prime in battle. Scourge, your words pleases me, father, but now I must return to the surface. Unicron, I understand, opens a portal to the surface. Scourge, see you later. Father puts the primordial blade behind his back, then walks through the portal and it closes at the hideout. Nightbird, sharpening her katana's battle trap, doing a final checkup on his machine gun. Then a familiar portal opens up and from it came Scourge, who had the primordial blade behind his back. Scourge, hey guys. Battle trap and Nightbird, welcome back, brother. Battle trap, so did you get what you needed from father? Scourge, yes. Nightbird, and what is it that you wish to speak with father? Scourge, this starts walking towards them while also taking the primordial blade behind his back. Scourge, Scourge, my first creation, fashioned from the very lifeblood of father coursing through our veins. Scourge, I call it the primordial blade. Battle trap and Nightbird, amazed. Wow, battle trap, I can feel the dark energon pulsing from the blade. Nightbird, I have only heard about the one weapon crafted from dark energon using the forge of Salas Prime. Nightbird, the Dark Star Saber. Scourge, Dark Star Saber. Nightbird then proceeded to tell Scourge about the war that happened on Cybertron and how the leader of the Decepticons named Megatron, previously known a minor bot called D-16, crafted the Dark Star Saber, the Slayer of Primes. Scourge was impressed. Scourge, I'm surprised that a simple miner became the leader of an entire army. Nightbird, life works in mysterious ways, brother. Scourge, true that. Anyway, I'm off to stasis. Nightbird, same. Battle trap, good night guys. Scourge, good night you too. After that the Terracons went into a time stasis and waited for the next day. While this was going on in a cemetery during a thunderstorm at 11:47 p.m. a 34-foot tall machine was standing in front of a gravestone. I promise on my mother's name I'll have my revenge. That is my vow, All Might and Telek. I will have my vengeance. For I am then lightning struck, revealing the machine to be another Cybertronian with red armor plating and neon green accents with shoulder-mounted missiles, Shadowmaker. Shadowmaker, Shadowmaker, drawn by me, a Cybertronian that is not aligned with any factions. He transforms into a red Bugatti Chiron and has shoulder-mounted missiles on each shoulder. Unlike most Cybertronians who need to stay on Earth to learn about it, Shadow Maker has innate knowledge about Earth. He seems to have grudge against All Might and Telek, but the reason for it is unknown, and like the Terracons he can change into a human form but doesn't use it as much. Shadow Maker exits the cemetery and reaches the front gate. Shadow Maker transforms into his alt mode. Shadow Maker drives off. Just then another bolt of lightning struck again, and this time a hologram of a woman appeared on the driver's seat. The hologram, drawn by me, Shadow Maker. Trust me, All Might, I will have my vengeance and no one can stop me. At the Terracon hideout. Scourge, why do feel like I'm going to face a challenge in the future? As the new Cybertronian roamed around the street in his alt mode while the Terracons were resting up for the next day. How will Izuku deal with this neutral Cybertronian, and what memories from his past will he uncover? Chapter 6, First Day. Third-person POV. A week after the events of Chapter 5, the Terracons build themselves a two-story cabin in the middle of the woods near the train yard as way to adjust to the world around them. They informed Nizu and Izumi about, and they gave those two the coordinates of the place. The cabin. Izuku, in the kitchen preparing a New England lobster roll for Izumi to eat, as the Terracons can't eat human food for energy due to their Cybertronian biology. Izumi, sitting at the table drinking a cup of coffee until she heard a knock on the door. Izumi stood up, then goes to the front door and opens it to reveal Nizu. Izumi, Uncle Nizu. What are you doing here? Izuku, from across the hall. Izumi, who's at the door? Izumi, it's Uncle Nizu. Oni-chan turns to Nizu, please come inside. Nizu steps inside and looks at the interior of the house. Marvelous, it looks very cozy and spacious. Izuku, it sure is. He said that while drinking liquefied dark energon. Nizu, ah. Izuku, my boy. How have you been? Izuku, doing well, thank you for asking. Nizu, you're welcome. But I'm here for another matter other than visiting you. Izuku, is something wrong? Nizu, no, quite the opposite actually, though to address this matter we need you other siblings as well. Izuku, they're outside training, I'll bring them here in the meantime. Izumi, can you take our guest to the living area? Izumi, sure. Come this way. Uncle Nizu stand aside for allowing Nizu to walk through. Nizu walks inside and goes to the living area with Izumi behind him. After a few minutes Izuku came with Battletrap and Nightbird behind him. Apparently they had a fight about who has the most useful alt mode, and they decided to spar, which resulting in a few trees getting destroyed. Izuku, so what was it that you wished to say? Uncle Nizu. Nizu, to give you these hands, the for them a letter. Nightbird, what is this? Nizu, open it. The Terracons plus Izumi opens the latter and noticed that it was an application form. The Terracons read the letter and Izuku was crying, and along with Izumi, as they both got into UA along with Nightbird and Battletrap. Nizu, I thought it was fitting to bring you this personally and to keep this place a secret from them, hinting the HPSC Commission, All Might and Telek. Izumi wipes her tears. You heard that, Oni-chan. We can be heroes. Izuku, crying tears and looks at Nizu. I don't know what to say. Nizu, you don't have to say anything. Consider it a gift. Welcome to UA High. After that Izuku decided to teach Izumi a few tricks to do with her quirk, like overclocking it to improve her prowess, and it worked. She gained OFA because the past users unanimously approved that she could use OFA, though they replaced the age quirk with a curse that gives random % while using OFA, so in one case she can use 27% while the next time she uses it could 75% or 43%. After a week we see Izuku in his alt mode along with Nightbird and Battletrap in front of the cabin waiting for Izumi. Scourge, in his alt mode. Izumi, it's 7. Are you done putting on your uniform? Izumi comes out of the cabin wearing her UA uniform. Izumi, does this answer your question? Scourge, it sure does. Now come on, we don't want to be late on our first day now, do we? Opens the door of his alt mode's driver's cabin for Izumi to enter. Izumi, no we don't, enters the driver's cabin and closes the door. Scourge, Terracons. Show them your might. Drives off at 56 miles per hour along with Nightbird and Battletrap, who were in their alt modes. After a 26-minute drive they reached UA, where they were greeted by Nizu and Aizawa, who were at the front gate. Scourge opens the door for Izumi to get out. Izumi gets out the Terracons, transforms into their Cybertronian forms, then into their human forms, the Terracons. Nizu, hello Izuku. Izuku and Izumi, hey Uncle Nizu and Uncle Aizawa. Battletrap and Nightbird, what's up? Aizawa, it's good to see you all, but apparently there is something Nizu forget to mention when he visited you. Izuku, you and your crew are in 1B while Izumi is in 1A along with them. The Terracons plus Izumi knows what Nizu is talking about. Izuku, is it possible for her to SWCH classes? He said that as he was about to summon the primordial blade. Nizu, there is a way, the sports festival. Nizu, if a teacher sees a potential student from another course, they can take charge of the student, thus changing their classes, whether it is general to support or support to hero. Izuku, I see, and since they are here they will figure out I am here too. Nightbird, and if they try to force you to do something I'll slice them into pieces. Aizawa, as much as I want to expel them I can't because they're being protected by that beach, hinting the HPSC president. Izuku, true, but I know what to do to her. Nizu, and what is it that you will do to her? Izuku, you'll see uncle. Nizu, alright then let's head inside. Walks inside with the rest following close behind him. After that they went inside of the campus. Soon Izumi went to her class despite her hatred for the tormentors. While this was going on, Izuku and his team went to their class, which was across the hall. One by the students came, and it was currently 9:15 a.m. Vlad King enters the classroom. Vlad King, hello everyone. 1B, I'm Vlad King, your homeroom teacher for the next 3 years of your life at UA. Vlad King, since this the first day you'll introduce yourself to your classmates. After that we will conduct a quirk evaluation test tomorrow. Vlad King, you points at Kendo, go ahead and introduce yourself. Kendo stands up and goes in front of the class. Hello everyone, I'm Itsuka Kendo. My quirk is Giant Fist. My hobbies include reading, dancing, and singing. Kendo goes back to her seat. After Kendo's introduction everyone went up and introduced themselves till Izuku and his crew remained. The Terracons stands up and goes in front of the class. Izuku, my name is Izuku Midoriya and my quirk is Biomech. I can transforms into 38-foot tall living robot with integrated weapons that can transform into a truck. I'm glad I asked uncle to forge us new identities. Flashback a week ago. Izuku at UA and knocks on the door. Nizu, from the other side it's open. Izuku opens the door and enters. Nizu, ah Izuku, what a pleasant surprise. Is something wrong? Izuku, I need a favor from you Uncle Nizu. I'm listening, he said that as he sips a cup of green tea. Izuku, is it possible for you to forge new identities for me and my crew? Nizu, I can, but may I ask why? Izuku, one word, HPSC. Nizu understands what he meant and his face has an angry yet calm look. I see. Nizu, very well, I'll do it, but first I need pictures of your two siblings. Do you have it? Izuku, yes, takes out his phone that Izumi gave him and showed the picture of him and his crew. Izuku hands him a piece of paper that had something written on it. These are they names that Nightbird and Battletrap want to use. Nizu, alright, give me a few minutes, I'll forge the documents. Opens his computer and hacks into the civilian population database. Nizu almost finished preparing the documents until he looked at Izuku. So what should be in the quirk section? Izuku thinks for a few moments until he got it. Biomech. Since we're all biomechanical lifeforms. Nizu, genius. Adds the biomech in the quirk tab and finishes uploading the forged documents. Nizu, then from his desk he pulled out the identity cards and BRTH certificates for them all and hands them to Izuku. And you may ask how he got the documents. Well, because he's the rat god. Here it is done. Izuku looks through the documents and is satisfied. Thanks Uncle Nizu, I owe you. Nizu, it's nothing. Izuku, I hope they don't find out about this. Izuku, me too, anyways thanks Uncle. Nizu leaves the room. Nizu, you're welcome. Izuku goes back to what he was doing. Flashback ends. Izuku goes back to his seat. Nightbird, I'm Alicia Midoriya. Me and my brother Nathan have the same quirk like Izuku, except I transform into a car while Nathan transforms into a tow truck. Monoma, so you all have a transformation quirk. Izuku, Not exactly, he said that as he was 2 seats in front of Monoma 1B, looks at him. What do you mean? Izuku, though our quirk is classified as a transformation quirk, it also acts as a defense mechanism against quirk nullification technology. Tetsu, so you're saying that, Izuku, yes, our quirks can't be nullified. Admittedly, everyone was shocked by the fact that Izuku and his siblings have quirks that can't be nullified. Soon after, Vlad King started the class. Unlike Aizawa, he wants the students to prepare themselves not physically but mentally as well. While this was going on, the other side of the universe, a war was being waged on a Cybertronian colony planet called Omicron. The planet had a chunk of it destroyed with lava flowing through the surface acting as borders. Omicron, drawn by me, Cybertronian soldier, is missing an arm and is running away from someone along with a high-class Cybertronian, following them through the destroyed Omicron city ruins. Shoots a projectile at the soldier, hitting one of his neck hydraulics. Cybertronian soldier, Arg. Falls to the ground with energon leaking from his wounds. High-class Cybertronian, looks at the soldier and leaves him to die with assailant who was attacking them, deactivates the cloaking system and reveals him to the dying soldier, drawn by me, is walking towards the soldier as his feet digits scrapes against the metallic ground. Cybertronian soldier, looks at him and is scared for his life. Please spare me. Ignores his pleas as he leaps onto him, biting his midsection and clawing his chest plate. Cybertronian soldier, screams in desperation and pain. Argh. Somebody help me. Uses his claws to rip off his chest plate, nearly damaging his vital system. Cybertronian soldier, looks at his cannibalistic assailant with fear in his optics. Cybertronian soldier, please, stands up and plunges his servo into his spark chamber and prisses his spark out. Cybertronian soldier, his optics flickers as he joins with the Allspark. Looks at his spark and consumes it. Just then a flyer appeared and landed behind the assailant, and from it came a female Cybertronian with multiple tubes replicating muscle mass. The flyer, drawn by me, Guillotine. Report the animalistic Cybertronian with cannibalistic behavior known as Guillotine turned around, looked at the female Cybertronian who was behind him. Guillotine, all of the high-class Cybertronians are killed or dropped into the smelting pit's apex, good. Any escapees? Guillotine, one managed to escape and is probably locked himself in the stronghold. Apex, sighs, come let's finish the mission. Turns around and enter the flyer with Guillotine behind her at the stronghold. High-class Cybertronian, frantically trying to arm himself with a weapon when he suddenly heard a noise. High-class Cybertronian, looks at the door and sees the silhouettes of 2 Cybertronians through the gap under the door at the other side. Guillotine, using his acid spray to melt the door. Apex, watching the high-class Cybertronian through a series of orbital scanners. Apex, looks back and sees another Cybertronian, which causes her optics widen in fear. Guillotine, looks back and has the same reaction as Apex and steps away from the door, kicks the door open with such force that a part of the door was shattered into pieces. High-class Cybertronian, looks at, and quickly goes to hide behind a data console, walks inside with Apex and Guillotine behind him. The world holds such wealth and elements, and yet you high-class some assume that wealth is power. Apex, destroying multiple energon fuel lines. Guillotine, eating the Cybertronian corpses that lied scattered across the floor, but I see clearly wealth is crutch. It weakens us, makes us feel like the others around us are parasites. But pain, that is what really matters. It is a crucible that tests you, it leaves you broken, and raw and worthy of existence, or it leaves you dead. High-class Cybertronian, peeks his head through the side and sees the assailants getting close to his position. I can offer you the pain to set you free, but my question to you is, will you embrace it? High-class Cybertronian, frantically looking for a way out until he spotted the armory. High-class Cybertronian, takes the risk and sprints towards the armory unaware that the assailant saw him, chuckles at his effort and dashes at him, knocking him to the ground. High-class Cybertronian, falls to the ground and winces in pain. Grabs the left side of his head with one of his digits digging into his left optic, nearly destroy it, and forces him to stand. High-class Cybertronian grunts in pain and desperately punches his arm to escape his grasp with zero luck. Do not fight it, stabs him in the shoulder with his pitchfork, then proceeded to rip out his head. High-class Cybertronian, his headless corpse falls to the ground spouting energon from the neck tubes, looks at his head in his servo, then crushes it and drops it to the ground and retrieved his pitchfork. Turns around and looks at Apex and Guillotine just though the lights start to flicker on, revealing the mysterious Cybertronian. The Cybertronian had dark and light gray armor plating with certain parts with a gold color and with red highlights. His head is covered by Roman-style helmet that only reveals his optics, and at his chest a red light in the shape of trident was there with his pitchfork that made a fiery crackle. The Cybertronian, drawn by me, Apex, Lord Inferno. What do we do now? Inferno, we leave. Proceeded to walk away with Guillotine and Apex following close behind. Time skip at the flyer. Inferno, typing something into the ship's data console. Apex, walks up to him. Lord Inferno. What are we going to do now? Inferno, looks at the her and smirks under the helmet. We may have won, but we still have one more enemy. Apex, who? Inferno, clutches his servo tightly. The one that is responsible for the war on our planet. Info. Inferno is a Cybertronian from the colony world Omicron, known for its form Energon called Lava Energon. Inferno grew up with a hatred for the upper class Cybertronians of Omicron because of being accused of a crime he never did. Soon during his time in the Dredge he formed a faction called the Inferno Cons and became Lord Inferno, the king of the Dredge. He has slaughtered hundreds of thousands of Cybertronians as a way of proving his faction he is not weak. He preaches an ideology similar to Megatron's but believes that only the strong can survive and the weak must be eliminated. He uses a pitchfork with the blades made from a fusion of red energon and toxin in battle, thus killing his enemies with dangerous effects of toxin but sped due to the speed enhancement properties of red energon. Chapter 7, Quirks and Wits. Third-person POV. A day after the events of Chapter 6, we 1B sitting in their class either talking or doing something to kill the time. Vlad King enters the room. Good morning, class. 1B stops what they were doing and turns their attention towards Vlad King. 1B, good morning, sensei. Vlad King, good morning. Vlad King, as you all know, today is the quirk test, so go to the changing rooms and change into your gym uniforms and meet me at Ground Delta in 15 minutes. 1B, hi. Sensei stands and goes to the changing rooms. At the boys' changing room, Izuku isn't wearing a shirt, which lets the others notice his scars. Tetsu, bro, you're so ripped, and why do you have so many scars? Izuku lets out a sigh. I had a bad past. Tetsu, oh. Izuku puts on his gym shirt and closes his locker. Izuku, you guys should hurry up. Leaves with Battle Trap at Ground Delta. Vlad King was leaning on the wall and sees Izuku, Battle Trap and Nightbird arrive. Vlad King, I'm impressed by your efficiency, kiddos. Izuku, thank you, sensei. The rest of the class will arrive shortly after 5 minutes. 1B, arrives Kendo, everyone is accounted for, sensei. Vlad King, good, then we can begin. Vlad King, this is the first test. Takes out a handheld tracking device and a ball. Vlad King throws the ball at Izuku. Izuku catches it without looking. Vlad King, since you came first in the entrance exam, we'll start with you. Vlad King, step inside the circle and throw the ball as far as you can without stepping out of the circle and don't hold back. Izuku turns into his Cybertronian form that is as tall as All Might due to the fact the circle can barely fit his feet. If was in his actual Cybertronian form what they saw. 1B, Nightbird and Battle Trap, WTF. Scourge goes inside the circle and activates his cannon, then puts the ball inside the cannon through the barrel. Scourge fires the cannon. Scourge, pretend Megatron isn't there and replace Optimus Prime with Scourge. The force of the shot broke the sound barrier 3 times as the class was amazed by Izuku's power, including his siblings. Scourge turns into his human form and steps out of the circle. Izuku, so how'd I do, sensei? Vlad King looks at device and was shocked by the results. Vlad King, 453 miles. 1B, WTF. 453 miles in one shot. Izuku looks at them like a confused child. What? Sensei did say to go all out. Vlad King regains his composure. Alright Midoriya, go back to the class. Izuku, hi. Sensei goes back to the class. Vlad King, alright, next up is, I didn't want to do the whole test so I'll give you the summary. Izuku practical aced every test aside the speed test where Nightbird took the win because of her ability to fly while showcasing a fraction of his powers. Unbeknownst to the class, All Might and Telek were watching the class and wondered how they could get Izuku and his team to be a part of 1A. At the 1B classroom, 1B, talking to each other, Kendo walks up to Izuku and taps his shoulder. Hey Midoriya. Can we talk? Izuku turns around and sees Kendo. Hey Kendo, yeah we can. Izuku, what is it you want to talk about? Kendo, back at the entrance exam you called Alicia Nightbird and Nathan Battletrap. What's that about Izuku? We wanted to protect our identity so we decided to give ourselves codenames to use. Alicia's is Nightbird because of stealth and her fascination to the wonders of the night sky. Nathan's is Battletrap because he is very crafty when setting traps and is battle crazy. Battletrap, I heard that you traitor. Kendo, giggles. So what's your codename? Midoriya. Izuku, my codename is Scourge. Kendo, Scourge. Why's that? Izuku, Kendo, suddenly realized that it was a sensitive subject for him. Kendo, I'm sorry I didn't know. Izuku, no it's okay Izuku, the reason why is because of my past and everywhere I go I see the discrimination I suffered upon the quirkless and those with weak or villainous quirks. Izuku, that's why I chose the name Scourge. Kendo, I guess you and I are not so different after all. Midoriya. Izuku, what do you mean? Kendo, my quirk, I was bullied for the fact I had augmenter quirk called many names and got cheated on by my ex. Izuku, I guess we're both parts of the same coin. I was bullied for being quirkless and she was bullied for having a augmenter quirk. Izuku, Kendo. Nizu, through the intercom, can one be please come to my office? Kendo, huh? Tetsu, yo Monoma, why do you think the principal called us for? Monoma, I don't know but it must be for something important. Kendo, well let's go then. Goes towards the principal's office with the class behind her. 1B, follows her towards the principal's office. At the principal's office 1B, enters the room and is greeted by Nizu, Eraserhead, Vlad King, All Might, Telek and 1A. Izuku, clutches his hand tightly. Vlad King, turns to Nizu. Alright Nizu, why is my class along with Eraserhead's class asked to be here? Nizu, they asked for them to be here. Points towards All Might and Telek. Nizu, apparently they want 3 students to transfer from your class to Eraserhead's class. Vlad King, what? Inspired by Hayate Naguma, All Might, that's because there are 3 students that are too powerful to be in your class. Vlad. Kendo, what do you mean All Might? Katsumi, it means that Aiken and his team should be with us, not you lowlife extras. You broom. 1A girls. Izumi, yeah. 1B, looks at them confused. Setsuna, I think there is a mistake, there is no one in our class that has the name Aiken. Shoto, that's a nickname. Points to Izuku for him. 1B, looks at Izuku who was glaring at 1A. Izumi Kimiko, you know them. AN in this FIC she doesn't say shroom. Izuku, yes they are my so-called friends when I was in middle school. Nightbird, and his tormentors. Lita, silence you heretic, I demand that you wash away your hair dye this instant. Izuku, turns into his human-sized Cybertronian form, then summons the primordial blade and points it at Lita's throat. Scourge, don't talk to my sister like that you Walmart Sonic. Izumi, that's an insult Oni-chan. Scourge, but Izumi, to Sonic. Scourge, you're right, sorry Sonic. Meanwhile at Mobius, Sonic, sneezes 3 times. Sonic, sneezing face allergy season already. Back to MHA, everyone. Nightbird and Battletrap, shocked that Izuku just summoned a weapon and is pointing it at Lita. Inko, Izuku, what is that? All Might, and where did you get it? Scourge, this is my weapon, my support item if you will, the primordial blade. The primordial blade, drawn by me. Lita, is dumb as bag of rocks. Izuku, how dare you use a weapon without my consent? Give it to me now so I can give to the authorities to be destroyed. Scourge, so that you can die of dark matter radiation. Be my guest. Kirishima, what do you mean by dark matter radiation? Yajibro. Scourge, I'm not your bro Elfman ripoff, and what I'm saying is that if we're to give him scratch using this he will die of radiation and will mutate him to death. Nizu, nephew, as much as I want to give them a taste of their medicine this won't solve anything. So stand down. Scourge, sighs and puts the primordial blade on his back. Scourge, turns into his human form. Izuku, my apologies Uncle Nizu. But he is a moron. Vlad King, Midoriya, be nice. Izuku, alright Sensei. Turns to Lita, right now between you and me, one of us is smarter than the other. Lita, thank you. Realizes that it was an indirect insult. Wait, what? Izuku, you clearly have 2 brain cells and both of them are fighting for 3rd place. Izumi, whistles, he's cooking today. Nightbird and Battletrap, nods in agreement. Izuku, You know when God was giving out brains and wisdom you were queuing up. Lida said don't underestimate me Izuku, it's impossible to underestimate you. If you ever had a clever thought it died alone and afraid. Nizu was drinking tea and coughs viciously by the insult holy cow Aizawa, this is Izuku, I could blow into your ear and you'd say thanks for the refill. Lida, at a loss for words because Izuku just roasted him through indirect insults Nizu, regains his composure Izuku, go to your classmates. Izuku, yes uncle. Goes to his classmates Nizu, now then turns his attention to All Might and Telek as you can see Izuku Midoriya is doing fine with 1B and therefore doesn't need to be transferred to 1A Katsumi, but Principal Nizu he should be with us. 1A girls Izumi, yeah Izuku, and what makes you think I won't be with you monsters? Katsumi, ha. What do you mean Izuku, you all broke me. Abused me. Forced me to survive on my own by eating leftovers and my own flesh. I was 4 years old at the time. Inko, WW what? Izuku, that's right Inko I had to cut pieces of my flesh just so I could survive. Izumi, but why didn't you tell me Oni-chan? Izuku, look at me Izumi puts his arms in a manner that they are pointing at him Izuku, you already had your hands full and besides I was pretty good at keeping it a secret Nizu, couldn't keep his composure and threw his teacup at All Might and Telek All Might, dodges it by moving to the side Inko, does the same Nizu, so not only did you neglect and forget him you forced him to survive on his own. Nizu, are you out of your minds? All Might, looks to the ground in shame Inko, breaks down into tears Izuku, looks at his crying cheating of mother, with no empathy Izuku, spare the waterworks, it won't change a thing you failed not as a mother but as wife to my real father Hisashi Midoriya Bakugo, was angry that Izuku isn't going to be in 1A and was about to throw an explosion at him shiny Izuku. Had his right arm in his Cybertronian form and grabs Bakugo by the neck, choking him Bakugo, is turning blue Izuku. Jabs him in the stomach and throws him at 1A Bakugo, is on the ground and is holding his stomach in pain Aizawa, grabs him with his capture scarf and lifts him up Bakugo detention for 1 week Shoka, but Zuzu attacked him. Why isn't he in trouble? Izumi, ever heard of the word self-defense, candy cane? Nizu, alright everyone go back to your classes this meet has concluded. The classes, leaves the room and goes to their respective classes a few hours later we 1B in their hero costumes ready for the next lesson 1B, Vlad King, is everyone accounted for? Setsuna, no sensei the Midoriya trio isn't here Monoma, maybe they, Scourge, maybe we what? 1B, looks at Scourge who is walking towards them with Nightbird and Battletrap in tow who were in their Cybertronian forms the Terracons. Nightbird, what were you saying? Monoma, and nothing. Vlad King, alright now that everyone is here let's start Vlad King, explains what they are doing after a few minutes the teams were selected it was the first battle Izuku and Kendo versus Monoma and Setsuna. Vlad King, through the intercom heroes can enter Izuku and Kendo, enters the building Kendo, so what's the plan? Scourge, using my optics I managed to pinpoint where the guys are. Monoma is on the second floor while Setsuna is guarding the bomb on the top floor. Kendo, I'll handle Setsuna. You handle Monoma. Scourge, alright, let's go walks through the building after a while they were in the second floor Scourge, was about to take a step forward until he stopped Kendo, noticed what happened and goes towards Scourge, we're not alone Monoma, that's right. Rushes at them from the shadows and goes to deliver a punch at them using Tetsu's quirky copied Scourge, fires at him with his cannon Monoma, narrowly dodges the shot and gets to his feet Scourge, Kendo, go secure the bomb. Kendo, I'm on it leaves to find the bomb and Setsuna Monoma, rushes at him with a metal pipe in hand as a weapon Scourge, simply walks towards him while preparing his claw Monoma, swings the metallic pipe at him Scourge, ducks under and grabs the pipe Monoma tries to pry it out of his hand Scourge, delivers a strong right cross at his face causing him to stumble back Monoma, lets go of the pipe and falls Scourge, throws it aside Monoma, quickly recovers then rides up, hardens his right hand and delivers a punch to his face Scourge, steps back to avoid the punch and kicks him away Monoma, falls down and is pushed back you're strong. Scourge, I'm just getting started. Rushes at him preparing to finish the fight Monoma, uses the opportunity to rush at him and deliver a fast blow to his abdomen only for him to break his wrist. Monoma, arg. Holds his broken wrist. Monoma, tries to hit him with his good arm only for him to tank the hit. Scourge, catches his fist and forces him to kneel. Scourge, replace Optimus Prime with Monoma, Monoma, shocked. I impossible. Scourge, chuckles. I enjoy that look of fear and confusion. Scourge, when an inferior being meets a higher and superior power, kicks him away. Monoma, falls to the ground. Scourge, grabs his head and smashes it to the ground, knocking him out. Scourge, turns his attention towards Kendo and goes to help her until Vlad King, through the intercom. Monoma and Setsuna are unable to fight Heroes 1. Scourge, grabs Monoma and puts him over his shoulder, then walks towards Recovery Girl. The rest of the class finished the training exercise and learning about heroes and tactics. After the school ended, the trio went back to their cabin and trained, preparing themselves for what might they face in the future. Replace Optimus Prime with Monoma, Monoma, shocked. I impossible. Scourge, chuckles. I enjoy that look of fear and confusion. Scourge, when an inferior being meets a higher and superior power, kicks him away. Monoma, falls to the ground. Scourge, grabs his head and smashes it to the ground, knocking him out. Scourge, turns his attention towards Kendo and goes to help her until Vlad King, through the intercom. Monoma and Setsuna are unable to fight Heroes 1. Scourge, grabs Monoma and puts him over his shoulder, then walks towards Recovery Girl. The rest of the class finished the training exercise and learning about heroes and tactics. After the school ended, the trio went back to their cabin and trained, preparing themselves for what might they face in the future. Kirishima and Kaminari, steps back in slight fear. Bro, Scourge, listen here, you Elfman ripoff and Walmart Pikachu I hate, no, I despise you with every cell in my body. Scourge, you think that your sweet little sorry and honest words can heal 10 years of pain, neglect and death. Kirishima, Kaminari, Scourge, waits for their answers but doesn't get them. That's what I thought. Scourge, turns around and walks away while transforming back into his human form. Kaminari, yells, why can't you just forgive us? Izuku, I'll forgive once you're 6 feet under. Not to mourn you but to say I'm sorry that I wasn't the one that killed you. He said that as walks to his class at the 1B classroom. Izuku, listening to what Vlad King is saying and is drawing something. What he was drawing, it's an old drawing I made, so feel free to judge and give your opinions about it. Izuku, puts it away and listen to what Vlad King has to say. Vlad King, so today we're going to the unforeseen simulation joint for rescue training alongside 1A. 1B, hi sensei. Vlad King, so change into your hero costumes and meet me at the front gate in 15 minutes. 1B, yes sensei. Everyone. The Terracons leaves to change. Vlad King, notice that the Terracons didn't leave to change. Aren't you 3 going to change? The Terracons, stands up and changes into their human-sized Cybertronian forms. Vlad King, expressionless face, neutral face, expressionless face. Vlad King, dumbfounded, I keep forgetting you guys can do that. Scourge, it's fine. Sensei will be at the front gate, let's go. Scourge, walks out of the class and to the front gate. Nightbird, does the same. Battle Trap, does the same at the front gate. 1B, arrives at the front gate in their hero costumes alongside 1A. 1B, Katsumi and Shoka are wearing the same costumes like their brothers. Aizawa, alright Vlad, all my students are here now, let's get going. Kendo, I'm Eraserhead, the Midoriya siblings aren't here. Vlad King, oh they are here Miss Kendo. 1B and 1A, here's the sound of vehicles approaching. 1B and 1A, looks to the source of the sound. The Terracons, in their alt modes and approaching them. The Terracons, stops in front of them. The Terracons, transforms into their true Cybertronian form. Scourge, 1B, whoa astonished face. Vlad King, so I guess that makes everyone. Now everyone on board the bus. 1B and 1A, minus the Terracons, enter the bus and sits. When Lita, being the dumbass he is, but sensei's what about them? Points at the Terracons, they should be traveling with us. Demonic hand shaking. 1A girls. Azumi, yes I can be with Dekairu. Mophead Aizu babe I can. Zuzu Aizu. Izuku. Vlad King, since there isn't enough space for all us, these 3 will travel to the USJ using their quirks. Lita, but quirk usage without a license is illegal. Scourge, so that would mean Hawks is breaking the law since he is using his quirk to travel across the city. Lita, but he is a Scourge, and what about people who have mutant quirk which causes their bodies to have animalistic and mechatronic parts or extra limbs? Are they breaking the law? Lida, Scourge, what? Got nothing to say. Lida, stays quiet. Scourge, that's what I thought. Sensei's Let's Go transforms into his alt mode along with Nightbird and Battletrap the Terracons, drives off to the USJ. Everyone else, the bus drives off to the USJ. The drive to the USJ was long. The classes talked to each other as way to pass the time while they reached the USJ. During the journey 1A girls constantly ticked Izumi off by asking her to make Izuku transfer to their class, but she strongly said no. After they reached the USJ, Izuku was immediately greeted by the unconvincing illogical talks of Lida. And boy was he, said Scourge, near the entrance in his human-sized Cybertronian form alongside Nightbird and Battletrap. Lida walks up to them and unleashes his idiotic ruckus. Izuku as the class president of 1A, I demand that your siblings transfer from 1B to 1A. And you will quit UA and marry the girls and be a stay-at-home husband while we become the greatest heroes ever. As your superior you will obey me. Scourge sighs in anger and frustration and walks up to him, taking the primordial blade from his back. Scourge, listen, you discount Sonic wannabe. I don't follow your not. Do I have to listen to your orders? I control my own destiny. Lida, you will do as I say. Scourge gets ticked off and aims his plasma cannon at him. Listen here and listen well. I despise everyone in your pathetic class aside from Izumi. Scourge, you all broke me, tortured me, made me endure 10 years of hell. And yet you still think you're superior to the others around you. Lida couldn't think of anything to say because he has nothing in his brain. Scourge walks away and goes to the front gate to meet his class along with Nightbird and Battletrap. Eraserhead, alright you brats, remember to not cause any issues because I can't deal with any more. Scourge whispers to Izumi, is he always like this? Izumi whispers back, yep. Unfortunately. After that they entered inside the USJ where they were greeted by the rescue hero 13, hello everyone, waving hand Uraraka, OMG. 13, I'm your biggest fan. Starstruck 13, chuckles 13, always happy to meet a fan. Eraserhead, hey 13, where is he? 13, lifts her hand revealing 3 fingers up. Eraserhead slaps his forehead in frustration and speaks in a low and set-off voice that Musclehead can't do a single thing right. The Terracons and Izumi, of course that Musclehead of a hero father can't do anything right. 13, so for those that don't know me or my quirk, I am the rescue hero 13. My quirk is called Black Hole. It allows me to create miniature black hole to absorb debris while rescuing civilians. 13, but if I use my quirk aimlessly it will claim lives instead of saving them. That is what we're learning today on how to use your quirks in the most effective and safest way. 13, as means of adapting to different situation. The USJ is divided into several zones each regarding different situation. So everyone divide into groups of foe, kendo. Miss 13, did UA hire any fake villains for training purposes? 13, no, it's just me, Eraserhead, Vlad King, All Might, who is running late along with the rest of you. Why do you ask, Miss Kendo? Scourge takes a battle stance. It seems we might have some unwanted guests. Scourge points at the entrance of the fire zone. The heroes looks to where Scourge was pointing at the entrance of the fire zone. A weird purple mist-like distortion appeared and from it came a man dressed in all black with a red undershirt. Then many low-level thugs starts to came out of the mist-like portal. As the last of the thugs comes out, the mist transforms into a tall man in a butler suit with a metallic apparatus surrounding the person's neck. It seems we made a slight miscalculation on which heroes would be here, what he is wearing to cover up his face, but it seems that our targets have come. Aizawa puts on his goggles and takes a battle stance. Alright then, answer me this. Who are you, villain? Oh, I'm no ordinary villain, Eraserhead, I am Blackout the Shadow. 13, alright Blackout. Why are you here? Blackout lets out a small laugh. Isn't it obvious? We're here to destroy you all. But where is All Might? I was informed he'd be here. Vlad King, sorry to burst your bubble but he's not here. Blackout groans in frustration. Blackout, no matter, perhaps he'll be here sooner if we inflict a few casualties. The thugs gets ready for any expected battle. Vlad King, you won't lay a finger on the students. 13, if you want to get to them you'll have to go through us. Blackout, so be it. Puts hand up and closes his fist. The thugs, rushes at the student's death too. The parasites. Eraserhead, rushes at the thugs along with Vlad King. Vlad King, uses his quirk to trap the thugs. Eraserhead, uses his capture scarf to constrict them and knocking them out by hitting the back of their necks. The thugs, the ones that evaded Vlad King and Eraserhead, rushes at the whole holding melee weapons. The thugs, for liberation. 13, not so fast. 13, the fingertip of her suit opens up and pulls one of the front gates using the gravitational force of her black hole quirk. The thugs, gets knocked down by the front gate that was pulled towards them by 13. 13, turns to the classes. Which one of you is the fastest? Lita, Nightbird, I can fly towards you using my quirk. 13, alright then you go and bring backup immediately. Nightbird, yes ma'am. Rushes towards the entrance before being stopped by the Mist Man. Mist Man, pardon my intrusion but I can't let you leave. 13, get away from her. Uses her quirk to pull the Mist Man out Nightbird's way. 13, go. Now. Nightbird, hi. Her wings come out and takes to the sky. Mist Man, escapes from her attack. Mist Man, it seems I underestimated you, but this where it ends for you. Mist Man, summons a miniature mist portal in front of 13 as another one appears besides her, absorbing her suit and wounding her due to the portal redirected her attack. 13, arg. Falls to the ground with half her suit gone. 1A. Bakugo, F this. UF villain. Mist Man, the metallic apparatus gets hit and the mist surrounding his body started act abnormally. Mist Man, it would seem that you might be an issue. Hope you enjoy falling. Mist Man, opens a portal below the classes and falls to through 1A and 1B, falls through. Mist Man, uses his quirk to teleport himself towards Blackout. Blackout, notices that the Mist Man has arrived. Blackout, Kurogiri, tell me, did you deal with the future parasites? Kurogiri, I've warped them all to the zones and incapacitated 13 sir. But one student managed to escape and is on her way to bring backup from UA. Blackout, sighs, no matter, that parasite will lead All Might here. Blackout, looks at Eraserhead and Vlad King defeating the thugs one by one. Blackout, it would seem that I underestimated them a bit too much. If this continues they will take us down. Bring in our trump card. Kurogiri. Kurogiri, but sir, that is for when All Might arrives. Are you sure you want to bring it in? Blackout, of course my friend, think of this as a beta test, we can see if it can keep up with these two. Kurogiri, yes sir. Opens the warp gates and a hulking figure comes out. The figure, lets out a loud roar. Eraserhead, looks towards where the roar came from and his eyes widen. Vlad King, does the same. Blackout, I had hoped that I won't have to bring it in but you two have forced my hand. Vlad King, WWWH hat is that thing. Blackout, heroes, I'd like you to meet the Nomu. The Nomu. Blackout, Nomu points at both Eraserhead and Vlad King. Dispose both of them. Nomu, rushes at them. Eraserhead, uses his quirk on the Nomu. Vlad King, tries to subdue it by creating a BLD barrier. Nomu, isn't affected by Eraserhead's quirk nor the BLD barrier. Vlad King, SHT Eraserhead, F at the shipwreck zone. Kendo, is falling and is about to hit the water when Izumi uses black WHP to grab her and lands on the shipwreck. Kendo gets out of the black WHP restraints and looks at Izumi. Thanks for the save Izumi, no problem, but I think we might be trapped here. Kendo, how'd you tell? Izumi, well, for one thing, there are thugs with swimming gear and water-resistant firearms at the shore. Kendo, looks at the shore and sees the thugs that Izumi mentioned. Fiddlestick Scourge, falls near the shipwreck along with Battletrap. Izumi and Kendo, looks at where the two fell and see them climbing the hull of the ship. Scourge and Battletrap, gets on board the shipwreck in their human-sized Cybertronian forms. Oh hey there, waving hand. Izumi, it's good to see that you two aren't hurt. Scourge, I'm sorry if I worried you, but what's the situation here? Kendo, it's them, points to the thugs that are swimming towards them. Scourge, pulls out the primordial blade as electricity started to appear around it. Scourge, points the primordial blade at the water as a bolt electricity hit the water. The thugs, gets electrocuted and goes unconscious floating atop the water. Kendo, never mind. Izumi, now that they have been taken care of, how will we get out of here? Battle Trap, points to the pathway that goes to the entrance that way. Scourge, turns into his actual Cybertronian form and picks both Izumi and Kendo hold tight. Scourge, jumps into the water and starts walking towards the entrance. The trek to the entrance was about 10 to 15 minutes long due to the fact the water was almost at Scourge's waist. After they reached the shore and sprinted towards the entrance kicking it down. Scourge, puts them down. Are you two alright? Kendo, we're fine. Izumi, thanks for asking. Scourge, alright then. Let Eraserhead and Vlad King, crashes next to them bruised and with multiple broken bones. The Terracons plus Izumi plus Kendo, sensei. Blackout, looks at them and lets out a small laugh. Blackout, two people with a transformation quirk. Though I wonder if you're as strong as you look. Scourge, Battle Trap, you're with me. Izumi, Kendo tend to their injuries. Izumi, yes Oni-chan. Kendo, but what about you? Scourge, starts walking towards them and took out the primordial blade. Scourge, we'll deal with him brother. Are you ready? Battle Trap, hell yeah. Yeah, let's show this BSTRD what we are. Blackout, oh so unwise. Nomu, bring me their heads. Nomu, rushes at them. Battle Trap, takes a knee and fires his machine gun at the Nomu. Nomu, gets bombarded with the hail of RBB bullets. Scourge, turns his left hand into his cannon and fires at the Nomu. Nomu, gets hit in the stomach area and gets knocked down. Nomu, quickly recovers from the attack. Scourge, it has regeneration and by the way it charged at us. It has no will of its own. Brother, it has no will of its own. SWCH to lethal. Battle Trap, copy that. Suches to live rounds and continues to fire at the Nomu. Nomu, left hand gets shredded to nothing but regenerates and rushes at Battle Trap. Nomu, punches him in the chest which causes Battle to stumble back. Scourge, its speed increases when we hit so shock absorption and it sent Battle Trap stumbling back so it has strength as well. In total 3 quirks. Scourge, rushes at the Nomu with the primordial blade in hand. Nomu, rushes at him and delivers a punch to his abdomen which didn't even hurt him. Scourge, stabs the Nomu in the stomach and kicks it away. Nomu, uses its beak-like mouth to bite Scourge's stomach only for its teeth to break. Scourge, rips off its left arm and kicks it away. Nomu, crashes to the ground and regenerates though slowly. Blackout, perplexed as to why the Nomu is regenerating slowly. What the Scourge, my weapon, when I stab a person with it they will feel weak and will be drained of their stamina, a side effect of the blade's radiation, and since this abomination of yours has no soul I guess I can do this. Scourge, starts to the Nomu's limbs. Replace Titan Havoc with the Nomu timeframe, 1101 to 1109. Nomu, lets out a roar of pain and desperation. Nomu, the radiation wears off and starts to regenerate. Scourge, puts the primordial blade away and stabs the Nomu with his arm blade and lifted up. Nomu, lets out a weak roar. Scourge, uses his electric claw to destroy its entire right upper chest area. Scourge, replace Apelink with the Nomu. Nomu, falls to its knees as it struggles to regenerate its wounds. Scourge, grabs its head and rips it out. Nomu, falls to the ground dead. Blackout, amazed by how a UA student managed to defeat the Nomu. Black, I'm impressed. It's been a while someone put on a show like this though. It pity I must end you. Scourge, rushes at to kill him only to be shot in the shoulder by Snipe Nightbird. I brought the cavalry. Pro heroes, burst through the non-existent gate. Blackout, Kurogiri, take us back now. Kurogiri, yes sir. Warps Blackout, the serving thugs and himself away. Scourge, turns into his human form and goes towards 13, Eraserhead and Vlad King. Izuku, takes out the dark energon shard Unicron gave him and breaks a small piece of it. Izuku, crushes the piece and sprinkles it over 13. Eraserhead and Vlad King. The dark energon healed the 3 of their injuries and didn't have energon poisoning as only a small dose was used. 13, Eraserhead and Vlad King, lets out a sigh of relief. After that the USJ was cancelled and the police and heroes arrested the thugs. Nizu gave them a week off to reciprocate from the attack. The Terracons drove off to their cabin, while the rest were either picked by their parents or went home by themselves at the villain hideout. Blackout, kneels down. My lord, I'm sorry to report that the attack on the USJ was a failure. And the Nomu. Blackout, it was defeated. It seems that All Might still has it in him. Blackout, no my lord, the Nomu was killed by a student. Well, that unexpected. leave me be. Blackout, yes my lord stands up and leaves, it would seem that I have one more thorn to take care of. Light shines upon him revealing a man in a metallic armor, drawn by me, no matter that brat will fall like all those I had slain before the helmet retracted revealing a man with no eyes or nose, AFO. Once I have OFA nothing can stop me. Nothing. Type something on his gauntlet and speaks AFO, Shadow Maker find this brat and annihilate him. Shadow Maker, yes my lord. In his human form Shadow Maker's human form.